So hopefully you've actually filled out several parts of this draft homemade trig table where perhaps like other people in other groups or something are doing the different triangles. What we're going to talk about is if you go to the back side of the grid paper, there's a final homemade trig table here. On the top, this is actually super important. It says make sure your calculator is in degrees mode. When you're doing these calculations in your calculator, it says you're going to calculate these values in the table and write it out to 3 decimal places. So here's my calculator. Just be aware that normally when you clear your calculator, you can push this mode button next to the second. See how it says radian, and that's the thing that's highlighted? We actually want degrees to be highlighted. So we're going to arrow down and to the right and push enter, so now that the box moves over to degrees. So long as I don't clear my calculator again, I'll always be in degrees mode. So now that I've done that, for the first row, it says 10 degrees, and we're trying to figure out the sine of 10 degrees. So back to my calculator. The 3 buttons for sine, cosine, and tangent are in this row right here. All you have to do is push sine, push 10, close the parentheses, and since I am, let's just review again, I am in degrees mode, I can just push enter, and the calculator will tell me what the sine of 10 degrees actually should be. So I'm going to go ahead and write it out to the nearest thousandth place, about 0.71714-ish if I round it, since it's a 3/6. We'll do the same thing for the cosine of 10 degrees. So here's cosine of 10 degrees, close the parentheses, push enter. It looks like 0.98, and I'll round it just so we don't have to write too many digits. I'll put it to the 5. And the last row, or column, sorry, is tangent of 10 degrees. So I'll push tangent, 10, close parentheses, enter, and let's round it again to the nearest 3 decimal places. So you'll basically go through and fill out this table, but using your calculator. Later on, you can actually check to see if you were pretty accurate or not. So you'll see that this one is kind of pretty far off. I was like, I don't know, 0.03 off. This one seems closer, and this one's a little bit off too. But, you know, you're not a human calculator, so there's some error involved when you're measuring, and I'm trying to calculate things that way. But I want you to make sure you get all the actual values from your calculator written in this table so that you can answer some of these questions down here.